Inscription number 29. Chura Plates of Vijaya-Vishnu-gopa-varman. Pallava history can be studied in two parts. 1. Early history of Pallavas. 2. Successors of Simha-Vishnu. Study of the early history of Pallavas is purely based upon these inscriptions, especially copper plate grants of the kings. This Chura grant supplies us following genealogy. Skanda-varman, Vishnu-gopa-varman, Simha-varman, Vijaya-Vishnu-gopa-varman. Most of these records of the Pallavas were issued from Kanchi, as Kanchi must be the headquarters of the dynasty. However, Pallavas had lost Kanchi once, probably during the fight between the Gupta king Samudra-gupta and the Pallava king Vishnu-gopa. Pallavas again captured Kanchi, probably defeating the Cholas, who took over this when Vishnu-gopa was busy with Samudra-gupta. The first ruler of this dynasty was Skanda-varman, who is also referred as Yuvaraja in these inscriptions. He assumed the title of Dharma Maharaja as he had performed Asva-medha and various other Vedic sacrifices. We get very meager information in these charters. However, it is possible to get information relating to the administrative and social aspects of Pallava kingdom. We hear of Yuvarajas, evidently crown princes, who perhaps participated in government and issued the charters. The kings wore titles like Bhattaraka. Gift of tax-free lands to Brahmins was an important act of charity by the kings. Political and administrative system of Pallava dynasty was inherited from Sata-vahana dynasty. Pallavas followed sanatna dharma and were worshippers of Siva and Vishnu and always performed Vedic sacrifices. The Pallavas from Simha-varman of the 6th century AD to Kampa-varman of the early 10th century were the most important power in South India for a period of at least 5 centuries. Provenance uncertain. Probably the Daggu-padu Village Nara-sarsa-opet taluk, Guntur district, Andhra Pradesh. Script Brahmi of the southern class of 7th century AD. Language Sanskrit with a few Telugu expressions. English translation of the inscription. Victorious is the Lord. Hail! From the illustrious and victorious seat of Pallava, the devout worshipper of Bhagavad, the pious king, the illustrious Vijaya-Vishnu-gopa-varman of Bharadwaja Gotra, was ever initiated into the vows of sacrifices, which were honored with the pious thoughts of devotion to the Lord, and were the producers of all the blessings, who is luminous with fame from victories won in sudden encounters in many battles, who is ever engaged in rescuing Dharma, sunk by the evils of Kali Yuga, who possesses the virtues of kingly sage, who meditates on the feet of the Lord Vishnu, who is devoted to the feet of his majestic father, who is the son of the illustrious Maharaja Simha-varman, who was true in spirit, who was promoter of prosperity of the gods, the Brahmanas, the teachers and the seniors, who was excessively courteous, who had increased his store of piety by gifts of many cows, gold and land, etc., who was adept at nursing his subjects, who was fifth among the Lokapalas, who was the grandson of the illustrious Maharaja Vishnu-gopa-varman, who was the unique hero on the surface of the earth, and who was rich in accomplishments, who Vijaya-Vishnu-gopa-varman was the great-grandson of the illustrious Maharaja Skanda-varman, who was greatly devoted to the Vedas, who was the repository of brilliant Kshatriya power earned by his own arms, who had established all the ethical standards according to the law, who was steadfast in the path of duty, whose spirit was boundless, who had subdued the circle of kings with his valor, commands the villagers, all the administrators on local duty, the mobile officers and the royal superintendents in the village named Chura, in the province of Karma. To the west of this village is the village named Lagubamru. Its eastern boundary is the eastern tank, touching in the east the great highway to Iradi. To the south is the platoon or stacking ploughs on the meeting place of three villages admixed with